Easter season kicks in with Good Friday services in churches as leaders sue for peaceful coexistence.
Today, we can say that the foundation of Christianity itself was laid by the death of Christ on the cross.
Nigeria Governors Forum visits Governor Mutfwang, urges security agencies to do more on the Plateau. Setting new calls for polio eradication, health ministers from sub-Saharan Africa meet in Jamena, Chad.
This upcoming April campaign, we are facing our states to ensure that we have adequate supervision to check what the teams are doing in the field, in the front lines.
Good evening, I'm Lami Ali. Welcome to the Network News on NTA. Tonight, our business news is from Benny Adams, and Bade Adele has for you the latest on sports. Remember, you can watch this broadcast live on our website, nta.ng/live, and on our other social media handles displayed on your screen. Now, let's get started. The 40 days Lenten season is fast coming to an end, with celebration of Good Friday to commemorate the passion and death of Jesus Christ on the cross. Omenka Amarachuku takes a look at the significance of Good Friday across the world.
Good Friday is a significant day in the Christian calendar that commemorates the crucifixion and death of Jesus Christ on Friday before Easter Sunday. The origins of Good Friday can be traced back to the early days of Christianity, when Jesus Christ was crucified on the cross.
Because of the resurrection that will take place 2 days' time, then we now have life again. God said to the people, I will be crucified, but on the third day I will rise. And the resurrection came. And that is why it has become a Good Friday.
In our families, husbands and wives should make sacrifices for themselves, for peace to reign. In Nigeria, the leaders and the led have to make sacrifices for this nation to move forward.
The celebration is characterized with church services and stations of the cross, reflecting Jesus' journey to Calvary. The clergymen say the celebration is not without lessons that includes forgiveness and sacrifice.
While he was on the cross, there were some very important things that he said on the cross. So today, Christians gather around churches and meditate on those words. The first word that Jesus Christ said on the cross was, Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they do. Which signifies the need to forgive one another.
For the faithful, more dedication to the work of God and nation building. In Abuja, Omenka Amarachuku, NTA News.
Well, today is Good Friday, marked by Christians worldwide as the day of crucifixion and death of Jesus Christ. In the studio to discuss reflections of Good Friday is a Christian cleric. He's the National Director, Planning, Research and Statistics, Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, Bishop Mike Apami. Sir, you're welcome to our studios.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right. As Christians commemorate the crucifixion of Jesus on Good Friday, what lessons or values do you believe can be drawn from the events to promote peace, reconciliation, and also mutual respect in a diverse and often divided world?
Thank you so much. You see, Good Friday started in the heart of God after man fell in the Garden of Eden. God had placed man in the garden and had asked him to eat of every tree, every fruit on every tree in the garden, except the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. But man disobeyed. And as a result of man's disobedience, man fell. God had said, the day you eat of this fruit, you will die. And man died spiritually. As a result of that, God was separated from man, and man was doomed for eternal destruction. And so God in his love, immense love, sent Jesus Christ to redeem mankind, because God does not want anybody to perish. And so he sent his son Jesus Christ to die on the cross of Calvary. And Jesus had to forsake the glories of heaven and took upon himself flesh, humbled himself, and was born in a manger in Bethlehem, and eventually was crucified like a thief on the cross on Golgotha. And as a result of that crucifixion, man was reconciled back to God. So the essence of Good Friday is a demonstration of the sacrifice that Jesus had to make, a demonstration of the love of God, and the fact that Jesus had a heart that was large enough to forgive. If we are to draw lessons from the Good Friday experience, it was quite an agonizing experience for Jesus. But if we were to draw lessons, the first lesson I can mention is that of sacrifice, the willingness for us to lay down our lives for each other. Another lesson is that of love. The fact is that when we walk in love, the Bible tells us we will do no harm to our neighbors. So can we imagine a Nigeria where we love each other with intensity, where we love each other, where we also walk in forgiveness? Obviously, there will be no strife. There will be peace in our nation. And Jesus also brought reconciliation. Can you imagine all the tribes being reconciled to one another, ethnic groups being reconciled to one another, religious bodies, faiths being reconciled to one another?
All right. Now, as a cleric who daily engages with followers passing this message, how do you believe the message of Good Friday, particularly the themes of sacrifice, forgiveness, and love, can be applied to promote interfaith dialogue and also understanding for harmonious coexistence in a place like Nigeria?
Obviously, that is what we do on a daily basis, because as adherents of the faith, we cannot accommodate hate. Our hearts must be large enough to embrace everybody. And when God tells us, as adherents of the faith, to love our neighbors, your neighbor doesn't have to be a person that walks in the same faith with you. Your neighbor is everybody you meet and you encounter. And you are expected to share the love of God. And, you know, if you are offended, Peter once asked Jesus, how many times should I forgive my neighbor when I'm offended? 7 times a day? No, 7 times, 70 times a day. And who will offend you 70 times, 70 times a day? But God was trying to say, hey, your heart must be large enough to accommodate other people. This is what we share with our followers, the adherents of the faith, that please, everybody does not have to be like you. Everybody does not have to dress like you. Everybody doesn't have to have the same faith with you. But you must demonstrate the fact that we are all human beings, and you should show love, you should show forgiveness, you should lay down your life for one another.
Thank you so much, Bishop Akpame, for sharing those insights on the significance of Easter.
Thank you, thank you.
All right, now activities commemorating the crucifixion of Jesus Christ on the cross of Calvary commenced today with Good Friday services in churches in Abuja. Omenka Marachuku reports that messages of love and sacrifice resonated in the sermons delivered at these special services.
As worshippers converged here from far and near to join in the celebration, Archbishop of the Methodist Church Nigeria, Archdiocese of Abuja, Most Reverend Michael Akiwale, reminded Christian faithful to use this period to promote peace
and national coexistence.
Today, we can say that the foundation of Christianity itself was laid by the death of Christ on the cross. And that is what we are solemnly celebrating, giving thanks to God.
At the Church of Nigeria Anglican Communion, Church of the Epiphany, Venerable Ifeanyi Akuna encourages the congregants to reflect on the virtues of love, peace, and goodwill.
We often offend ourselves in relationships, in the nation, in our offices, in our schools, in our churches, in our families. We must learn to forgive one another and to move on.
At the Baptist Church, Abuja, Reverend Tam Tokwatori urges Nigerians to revive their spirit, which is the essence of the celebration.
Nigeria as a country can be great, but for Nigeria to be great, it needs people who will sacrifice, who will give, not for their own selfish gains, but for the benefit of the country, for the blessings of the generality of the people.
Prayers were offered for sustainable peace, unity, and development in the country. In Abuja, Umeka Mrachuku, NTA News.
Similarly, church services were held in cities across the country marking the crucifixion and death of Jesus Christ. Zenret Dingmum packaged peaceful Good Friday services by Christian faithful from states across Nigeria.
He came to die so that we may be saved, so that we might be redeemed from sin and death, and that we might live with him forever. And that is why his death is termed as something good, because it was salvific, it was redemptive.
It is significant not only for Christians, but for any person that believes in what Jesus has done.
We should be Christian and believers who must preach the message of the cross.
Nation Nigeria, we need to celebrate this great sacrifice and embrace it. The peace of God will change our situation, will change the condition of this country.
President Bola Tinubu extends Easter wishes to Christians, urging reflection on sacrifice, redemption, love, and hope. He draws inspiration from Easter's message, reaffirming his commitment to a renewed hope for a better Nigeria. The president acknowledges recent tragic incidents, assuring citizens of his administration's resolve to restore peace and security. The president says clear directives have been given to the armed forces and all relevant security agencies to end insecurity decisively and without delay. He equally joined the global Christian community in thanking God for Pope Francis' recovery, praying that his renewed strength continues to inspire his leadership and service to humanity. He urges Nigerians to remain hopeful, united, and resolute in pursuing national progress, praying that Easter spirit fills hearts with renewed faith in Nigeria's possibilities. The Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, felicitates with the Christian faithful, soldiers and officers on the occasion of Easter celebration. He noted that Easter is a season of reflection and renewal of faith and acknowledges the ultimate sacrifice made by Jesus Christ as his resurrection restores hope to humanity. General Christopher Musa enjoins Nigerians to remember the nation's fallen comrades, men and women who paid the ultimate price in the line of duty. Pray for the quick recovery for those wounded in action, as well as strength and comfort for their families. Meanwhile, the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Gbetokun, extends warm Easter greetings to Christian faithful across the country as they mark the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ, a season symbolizing hope, renewal, and sacrifice. He urges Christians to reflect on these values and continue to promote peace, unity, and goodwill within their communities. The IGP in the statement directs all police chiefs nationwide to ensure enhanced visibility policing, heightened vigilance, and proactive intelligence gathering and deployment to strategic locations to guarantee a safe and secure Easter celebration for all citizens. Similarly, the Co-Marshal Federal Road Safety Corps, Shehu Mohammed, had in an Easter message warned motorists against violating traffic rules and regulations. He stressed the need for strict adherence to traffic rules and regulations during the celebration, assuring that the FRSC has deployed sufficient personnel and logistics to cover all the major corridors and identified black spots across the country in a special operation aimed at creating safer and freer road environments during the period and beyond. The Southwest Geopolitical Zone has become the fifth region in the country to join the Free to Shine Triple Elimination Campaign train. This follows the flag-off of the campaign by Nigeria's First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, in Akure, the capital of Ondo. State House correspondent Adeni Tayo has the details.
UNAIDS statistics of 2019, Southwest Nigeria posts HIV/AIDS prevalence ratio of 1.1% among adults aged 15 to 49, with a slightly higher prevalence among females standing at 1.5% compared to males of 0.8%. Oluwatomilayo's piece on positive lifestyle as a requirement for healthy youth set the stage for Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu to flag off the Free to Shine Triple Elimination campaign in the zone. Focused on prevention, the launch of the campaign aims to further scale down prevalence among target groups, particularly women of reproductive age and young children.
Also, it is reported that most infants born to HIV-positive mothers are not tested within the first 2 months of birth, largely due to the fact that the mothers are not aware or they are ignorant of the consequences of their inaction. The goal of this campaign is to address the growing complacency in the response to the spread of HIV/AIDS in Africa.
While emphasizing the need to deepen engagement with all stakeholders, the First Lady also highlights the imperative of rolling back the culture of stigmatization against sufferers and survivors of the disease.
I want to commend the association and members of the Association of People Living with HIV/AIDS for their testimonies. Their stories serve as a powerful reminder of resilience and hope, inspiring others living with HIV/AIDS to seek the support and treatment they deserve with courage.
As we flag off the Triple Elimination campaign, we do so with the hope that no woman will have to fear preventable disease during pregnancy.
The request made for free or heavily subsidized liver and kidney function tests for Nigerians living with HIV/AIDS is receiving the attention of the National AIDS and STI Control Program, and we are working with the National Health Insurance Agency to get such people covered.
This campaign is about action at every level, local, national, and global. It's about empowering women, engaging men, and educating communities.
With the successful launch of the campaign in the Southwest, the Southeast is the only zone waiting to be activated. From Akure in Ondo State, Adeni Itaiwo, NTA News.
We take a break now to bring you more reports after Do Stay. The chairman, Nigeria Governors Forum and Governor of Kwara State, Abdurrahman Abdulrazak, is expressing concern over the recent killing of innocent citizens in Plateau State, urging security agencies to step up efforts to address the challenge. The governors made the call during a condolence visit on Governor Caleb Mutfwang in Jos. Ndeyang Andiabagang has details.
The governors were in Government House to commiserate with the government and people of Plateau State over the attacks on innocent citizens. Chairman of the Nigerian Governors Forum and Governor of Kwara State, Abdurrahman Abdulrazak, says enough of the mindless killings of innocent people.
Leaders, including youth leaders, should come together and speak strongly against violence of any kind. We urge you to resolve differences through dialogue and negotiations.
In this trying moment, you have shown us that we are not alone, and it means a lot to us. Even when you lose one person, it's painful, But to lose the number of people within such a short span of time, it drives the pain deeper.
Governor Mutfwang also says his administration came with a mandate to return the state to answer its name as home of peace and tourism, and he is determined to achieve that despite the setbacks. In Jos, Indenyan, and the Abuja, NTA News.
Now, the Kano chapter of the All Progressives Congress, APC, says it is ready to welcome all defectors from other political parties to contribute their quota in consolidating the ongoing political and economic reforms of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. State chairman of the party, Abdullahi Abbas, stated this while addressing newsmen on the speculation of the impending defection of NNPP national leader, Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, to the APC. Shehu Adamu reports.
For some time, the political atmosphere in Kano is filled with the speculation of the impending decamping into the APC of the NNPP bigwigs, including the national leader of the party, Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso. APC chairman in Kano, Abdullahi Abbas, described the situation as a welcome development, saying it is an indication of the ruling party's strength and the purposeful leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
We have already directed our ward chapters to open register for the campees, irrespective of their political and social status, and this is in line with our party constitution.
The chairman therefore urged those wishing to join APC to go to their respective wards and register.
For the purpose of taking any future party or elective position, any old or new entrant should be free to exercise his or her fundamental rights of voting or be voted for without any special preference.
In Kano, Shehu Adamu, NTA News.
The Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Muhammad Alipati, says the synchronized polio vaccination campaign across sub-Saharan Africa marks a critical milestone in President Bola Tinubu's administration's commitments to eradicating polio. Speaking at the official launch of the campaign in Jamina, Chad, Professor Pati emphasized Nigeria's resolve to stop the transmission of circulating variant poliovirus type 2, especially in high-risk and hard-to-reach areas, noting that Nigeria has already responded to recent detections in Guru Yobe State with targeted immunization campaigns and is ramping up surveillance and coordination along its borders. The minister reiterated that the present administration is fully backing efforts to improve routine immunization, engage community-based health workers, and partner with traditional and religious leaders to ensure vaccine acceptance and coverage. He highlighted the role of civil society organizations and development partners in generating demand and combating misinformation. As part of the broader regional initiative, Nigeria will administer both the novel and bivalent oral polio vaccines in border communities, especially in the Lake Chad Basin, where cases have been concentrated. With strategic shifts in approach and robust government ownership, the government aims to interrupt the transmission of variant poliovirus type 2 by the end of 2025. The event brought together health ministers from Nigeria, Niger, Chad, Cameroon, and the Central African Republic, showcasing regional resolve to tackle the virus through joint action. Now, the House of Representatives Legislative Compliance Committee has promised to provide the necessary backing and enabling environments that would make the Nigerian National Medicine Development Agency perform its statutory mandates and be able to compete with its counterparts in India and China. Chairman House Committee on Legislative Compliance, Bado Yusuf Ahmed, gave the assurance during the committee's visit to Nigerian National Medicine Development Agency in Lagos. Bolaji Akim completes the report.
While briefing the committee members on activities, achievements and challenges of the agency, the Director General and Chief Executive, Professor Martins Emeje, explained that NNMDA has made landmark progress in research and production of natural medicine. He emphasized that the agency is capable of creating economic opportunities for the commercial sector of the country.
Two big supports that we have requested, the financial support and the human support. If they give me 15,000 staff, we will deploy them, 20 for each local government, and in 12 months, this country will be a net exporter of medicinal plants.
Chairman House Committee on Legislative Compliance, Honorable Badawi Yusuf Ahmed, assured the agency that the request presented before the committee will be forwarded to all relevant agencies and necessary action will be taken for the interest of the agency and the country at large.
To encourage him to write whatever he has in mind so that he will submit it to us so that we will put it in action. It will reduce the cost of dependence of foreign medicine. So, and at the same time, it will help our teaming youths to have working opportunity.
Members of the committee also went round to inspect facilities of the agency in Lagos. Bolaji Akim, NTA News.
Governor Umar Namadi of Jigawa State has officially flagged off the construction of a state-of-the-art diagnostic center, cardiac center, and a cryogenic oxygen and nitrogen production plant in Dutse. Mohammed Musa Askira reports that these landmark projects, stakeholders note, mark a significant step towards revolutionizing the healthcare landscape in Jigawa.
The initiative forms a part of a broader vision to position Jigawa, particularly its capital, Dutse, as a hub for medical tourism in Nigeria. The investments are designed to guarantee long-term health security with over 143,500 vulnerable residents, including children, pregnant mothers, and aged, are already benefiting from free medical care, including treatments for diabetes, hypertension, and other critical illnesses. Governor Namadi emphasized the importance of clean, well-managed hospitals with cordial relations between health workers and patients. These projects, they say, are not just infrastructure projects, they are life-saving investments and a foundation for self-reliance in medical diagnostics, among others.
It's more qualitative, effective, efficient, innovative, accessible and affordable healthcare system for our people. I strongly believe the whole of this investment are strategic and will go a long way in delivering our commitment to the people of Jigawa State as far as the healthcare sector is concerned.
Jigawa State, they noted, is on a transformative journey, one that prioritizes health, self-reliance, and inclusive growth. From Dutse, Muhammad Musa Askira, NTA News.
The Field Primary Foods Limited, makers of Indomie noodles, are not only producing edibles, but also seeking out and celebrating ordinary kids who are achieving extraordinary feats in various ways. This was emphasized as the unveiling of the 17th edition of the Indomie Heroes Awards, scheduled to hold in October this year. Lynn Leneke tells us more.
With 16 years of existence and producing remarkable and selfless Nigerians from 15 years below, Duffield, makers of Indomie noodles, are again ready to produce another set of kits with impressive physical, intellectual, and social bravery. This year's edition, tagged Unsung Heroes, will feature a collection of captivating and inspiring stories from different states across the 6 geopolitical zones. Beyond recognizing, celebrating, and rewarding the positive and heroic efforts of the children, the group head, Corporate Communications and Events, Duffield Primary Foods Limited, says the company is introducing new initiatives that will further expand the scope of the competition, which is held in October every year.
Beyond just giving out the children who have won, we have also said we need to also celebrate and reward runner-ups in different categories. So we'll have more people winning this time around. Of course, we have also increased the price tag. And what is also new again is that we are, apart from the grand finale, we are also going to be localizing the celebration. So it means that wherever these children eventually emerge, we will take some of the celebration to their domain.
National Coordinator Ndomi Fans Club noted that the competition since inception has produced 59 winners.
As the brand is putting in its best to bring out the little heroes out there, I feel we need your support, your help to bring out the stories and to make sure they're authentic, the authenticity of the stories. So we need your help to bring it out so that we all can, celebrate these young heroes.
The group head, Corporate Communications and Events, Duffield Primal Foods Limited, Temitokwe Ashiwaju, disclosed that the field search exercise kicked off on the 15th April this year, while online submissions would continue until June 30th, 2025. In Lagos, Lane Lenake, NTA News.
Stakeholders in the education sector from the 36 states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, are meeting in Ebonyi State to generate data for policy formulation that will address the systemic issues affecting the education sector in Nigeria. Fortunate Ozo reports.
Gathered here are critical stakeholders in education sector drawn from different states of the Federation under the aegis of the Joint Consultative Committee on Education to deliberate, galvanize and formulate data for better policies in the sector. This year's annual reference committee meeting is focused on providing the needed platform to update the educational policy of the federal government as to align with global best practices.
We are out of that analog syndrome. We are now going into digital. And what do we do to enhance ourselves on this digital level? That is why you are here.
So we are the implementers, the educators. We are the planners. So when we now say, look at what is necessary to be done in the sector, we can now say, let us get it approved.
Each state says where it holds them, their needs, and these needs are collected together and decisions are taken on them.
The policies gathered at the forum will aid stakeholders conference that will precede the plenary and National Executive Council sessions of the JCCE later in the year. In Abakaliki, Fortunate Ozo, NTA News.
As part of its corporate social responsibility, BetKing Nigeria has partnered a local government in Lagos State to build a mini sports complex for youth development. It is also to ensure they explore the inherent benefits in sports. Lanre Gbelei, who was at the unveiling of the sports complex, has the report.
Kingmakers, through its brand, BetKing, an online sports betting platform in Nigeria, demonstrates its dedication to changing the face of sports betting in Africa and commitment to initiatives to improve the condition of the society where they operate, partnered with Ifako Ijaye local government to build a mini sports complex. This is an initiative envisioned in 2022 that has now come to fruition.
Sports is a unifier of people. Sports is what brings people together. Sports is what bridges the gap between people, whether across language, religion, tribe, anywhere, whatever else. Sports is the one thing that brings people together. So we want this place to be a convergence of young people in Ifako Ijaye. It will be a convergence of young people in Lagos. It will be a convergence of young people in Nigeria.
Called the Kingmaker Mini Sports Complex, it is a 150 capacity natural grass sport arena for nurturing community talents in sports.
On behalf of Mr. Governor Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu, and the entire EXCO cabinet that I represent in Lagos State, I am thanking you because this is part of our Teams Plus agenda.
The government cannot do it alone. We need the collaboration of individuals, multinational companies, and that is what we have demonstrated here, to show that partnering with bodies will make us achieve more. And that is what we have been doing in Ifako Ijaye local government. We've done empowerment programs where the local government didn't spend a dime. It was in partnership with bodies, and it's helping a whole lot of our people. With partnership, we've been able to empower well over 10,000 youth in Ifako Ijaye local government.
Creating the mini sports complex is not only creating a platform for dreams to be realized, says traditional and community leaders. It will also channel youthful exuberance to productive endeavor. In Lagos, Lanre Bilayi, NTA News.
Benny Adams will be guiding us on business news today. Benny, it's over to you.
Thank you, Lami. And talking business, the House of Representatives has urged the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission and the Nigerian Police Force to intensify investigations towards apprehending and prosecuting the masterminds of the Ponzi cryptocurrency investment scheme known as CBEX. House spokesman Akin Rotimi says Parliament extends empathy to citizens currently facing distress after funds estimated to exceed 1.3 trillion naira were trapped following the collapse of the scheme. He says the fraudulent scheme, which is not registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission, highlights the growing risks posed by unregulated digital investment platforms. The House also underscores the importance of the recently enacted Investment and Securities Act 2025, signed into law by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, which strengthens the Securities and Exchange Commission's enforcement powers and criminalizes Ponzi schemes. Parliament advises Nigerians to exercise utmost caution and verify all investment opportunities with the SEC and other regulators. The Green Chambers also advises celebrities and influencers not to promote unregistered investment schemes, as this could make them liable for assisting financial crimes. Looking at the markets in the holiday, moving into Easter holidays, the Wall Street stocks ended mixed as investors weighed progress in the U.S. trade negotiations with Japan, and also China is being considered against concerns about the interest rate outlook. Traders leaned towards optimism following the U.S. President Donald Trump's comments about negotiation. Trump also told reporters he expects to make a trade deal with China, although he offered no indication of how talks would get underway with the two superpowers. The S&P 500 paired gains in the session's final minutes, and the Nasdaq turned negative, suggesting traders were wary of owning U.S. stocks over a three-day weekend, with market closed for the Good Friday holiday. The S&P 500 climbed 0.13% to end the session at 5,282.74 basis points. The Nasdaq declined at 0.1% to 16,286.45 basis points, while the Dow Jones Industrial Average declined 1.33% to 39,142.23 basis points.
Now and then. In which this uncertainty, could fester and, maybe cause more problems. I think we've already seen a lot of money flowing from the U.S. outside of the U.S., which is why, we've seen the dollar weaker and European markets doing better than.
Well, volume on the U.S. exchanges was also relatively light compared to unusually high volumes in recent sessions, with 14.6 billion shares traded compared to an average of 19.2 billion shares over the previous 20 trading days. Well, that is it. And business. Lami, you can take it from here.
All right. Thank you, Benny. We now take a break to bring you some messages. Do stay tuned.
But sometimes seeing is believing, and that you prefer to see what you're about.
Your life made forever.
So why do you need Dettol's 12-hour protective shield?
Why? Well, yeah, come and see.
Children unknowingly share germs with one another, especially.
The Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, NIPR, says professionalism in the nation's public relations practice remains a sacrosanct and will not be compromised under any circumstance. This strong stance was reiterated as the prestigious award and dinner night of the second Nigeria Spokesperson Summit held in Abuja. Hamman Jabani reports.
The evening with who and who in the public relations industry, policymakers, public and private sectors in attendance is to recognize and award all who have excelled in their PR profession.
It is also for you to be able to showcase yourselves through prizes and awards that we presented to you. We are entering a new era, one in which the voice of the spokesperson is not only heard, but is trusted.
So whatever they want us to do to add value, to give more deliverables to our country, we're there as lawmakers to help them.
The event, which celebrated excellence in strategic communication, saw 22 distinguished spokespersons from the corporate, government and private sectors receiving awards for their outstanding contributions to the PR industry.
We have made it a point of duty to ensure that at each point in time, we avail Nigerians with information about what is going on in NNPC.
At least the little that we are doing is being recognized, and this is also a challenge.
The summit and award ceremony provided a platform for intense reflection on the challenges facing Nigeria's PR industry, with a call for stricter adherence to professional standards and continuous skills development among practitioners. Hamad Jabani, NTA News.
Let's take another break to bring you more messages.
Using the new
Bade has the sports news. You're on.
Many thanks. Let's start with the Torch of Unity for the National Sports Festival, which has continued its tour of different states, with the latest stop being Sokoto State. During the brief ceremony at the Government House, Sokoto, the state government expressed optimism that its contingent's active participation in the upcoming games will serve as an opportunity to showcase their talents and establish the state's position on the national sporting scene. The torch has since departed for Kebbi State.
Initiatives that are attributed to that, things will come more glaringly and the people will see.
Now to football, the stage is set for the commencement of the women's tournament of the 2025 Bayelsa State Governors Cup, known as Prosperity Cup. The draws for this year's competition took place at the Samson Siasia Stadium in Yanagua, with Governor Duyedere, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Sports, Grace Alaukwa, and other sports stakeholders actively involved.
You know, we're already building a 25,000 capacity stadium. And the government is doing so much. The government has been supporting all kinds of activities that has to do with sports.
NFL Female League. We'll be sending a team of coaches once we finalize the arrangements during the final matches to watch our female teams and see what support they can give and what players they can identify.
One of the girls that was discovered from the last edition is already playing the first team of Bayelsa Queens. And in her debut outing, she even scored a beautiful goal.
All right, let's let you know that Enugu State Governor Peter Mbaz assured that former Super Eagles player and coach Christian Chukwu will be honored for the values he represented in sports worldwide. Governor Mbaz made the remark during the condolence visit to the family of the late defender who passed on last Saturday at the age of 74. Chukwu captained the Nigerian national team to its first win in the Africa Cup of Nations in 1980.
We're just as devastated by his death. As you know, our beloved brother and legend, Chairman Christian Chukwu, is a household name that inspired a lot of young people, that again represent a lot of values when it comes to sports.
That does it on Sports Tonight, and it's back to Lami.
And that's the network news. We thank you for watching. I am Lami Ali. Have a peaceful weekend of Easter.